Somewhere in Manhattan's maze of brownstones, there's one door the world rarely sees. Daniel Radcliffe's. Behind it lies the unexpected life of the boy who once carried a wand and now guards his peace. No grand displays, no spells, just a townhouse built on quiet success and a fortune shaped by discipline, not drama. And before we step inside this hidden corner of New York luxury, let's trace how the Harry Potter kid became one of Britain's most intriguing, unpredictable actors. Daniel Radcliffe was born on July 23, 1989, in London, into a world that seemed to prepare him for performance. His father, Alan Radcliffe, was a literary agent. His mother, Marcia Gresham, a casting director, and together they passed down a love of stories. By the age of 5, Daniel already knew he wanted to act. His first real break came at 10, when he portrayed young David Copperfield in the BBC's adaptation of Dickens' classic, a small role that opened the door to something extraordinary. That door led straight to Hogwarts. In 2000, after 8 months of auditions and callbacks, Radcliffe was chosen to play Harry Potter. It wasn't just a role, it was a phenomenon. Overnight, the boy with bright blue eyes and quiet intensity became the face of a generation. Over the next decade, the Harry Potter series transformed him from child actor to global icon. Critics praised his growth on screen, and audiences watched him evolve in real time, from the shy boy in Philosopher's Stone to the hardened hero of Deathly Hallows. At 16, he became the youngest non-royal to have his portrait displayed in London's National Portrait Gallery. And a year later, he left his handprints outside Grauman's Chinese Theater in Hollywood, immortalizing his journey from London to legend. But when the spells ended, Daniel Radcliffe didn't chase fame. He chased freedom. At 17, he shocked audiences by performing nude on stage in Equus, a raw and fearless role that shattered the boy wizard image. He dove into experimental theater and indie cinema, starring in December Boys, My Boy Jack, and later The Woman in Black, his first post-Potter project that proved he could command the screen without a wand. In the years that followed, he moved fluidly between genres and continents. From the absurd brilliance of Swiss Army Man to the Broadway musical How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying, where critics praised his comic timing. In 2022, he embraced another transformation, playing the witty Charlie Kringus in Stephen Sondheim's Merrily We Roll Along alongside Jonathan Groff and Lindsay Mendez. The performance earned him his first Tony Award nomination, solidifying his rebirth as a mature, versatile actor. Radcliffe's career is now a study in contrast, fame born from fantasy, refined by risk. He is one of the few child stars who didn't just survive his own success, he rewrote its ending. His journey from wizard to artist found its echo in his home, a New York townhouse where success whispers, not shouts, and every corner reflects who he's become. Apartment at 1 Morton Square, West Village, New York. The camera glides through the quiet streets of West Village, past cobblestone corners and hidden cafes, until it stops at 1 Morton Square, one of Manhattan's most coveted luxury complexes. Here, in a glass-wrapped tower overlooking the Hudson River, Daniel Radcliffe once built his version of solitude, a bachelor pad where fame stayed at the door and privacy began with the view. Purchased for $4.9 million in 2008, this corner apartment spans 2,445 square feet, around 227 square meters, wrapped in floor-to-ceiling windows that flood the rooms with Manhattan light. Every glance outside reveals the calm rhythm of the Hudson, a sight that reminds you why stars like Daniel choose West Village, where luxury whispers and the city's noise turns poetic. Step inside, and the space unfolds with cinematic clarity. The living room greets you first, vast, sunlit, and framed by panoramic glass. A deep navy velvet sofa curves along the windows, its sculptural shape echoing the skyline beyond. The warmth of oak floors grounds the space, balanced by minimalist decor. 2 caramel-toned armchairs, a sculpted concrete coffee table, and a few carefully chosen design books. Yes, one titled Tom Ford still sits there. It's a modernist sanctuary, yet lived in, stylish without trying too hard. The dining area flows seamlessly into an open-concept kitchen, designed with glossy white cabinetry and blue glass backsplash that adds a cool, reflective contrast. Sleek pendant lights hover above the marble counters, while woven leather bar stools bring a touch of texture and masculinity. It's the kind of kitchen where conversations feel intimate, the world outside framed perfectly by the massive windows. Each bedroom carries its own tone. The primary suite faces the river, a perfect morning view of sunlight scattering across the water. The walls are dressed in soft gray, accented by abstract art and warm wood. A leather-paneled headboard anchors the room, while minimalist sconces cast a golden glow that feels both modern and timeless. In the corner, a mid-century writing desk stands beside a framed vintage poster, proof that Daniel's creative energy never really leaves the room. The guest bedrooms lean toward artful restraint, clean lines, textured bedding, and bursts of personality through color. A striped black and cream rug defines one, while pops of orange blooms and geometric artwork inject just enough vibrancy. Every detail feels purposeful, curated rather than collected. And then, the bathrooms, sleek and spa-like. The master bath features a walk-in glass shower, mosaic stone floors, and a double vanity carved from pure white solid surface. Under soft, recessed lighting, the space feels serene, echoing the same understated confidence as its owner. Throughout the home, natural light does most of the work, reflecting off white walls, catching in mirrored frames, and pooling gently across the floors. It's a space that breathes, minimalist yet warm, luxurious yet unpretentious. In October 2022, Radcliffe sold the apartment for $5.3 million, closing a quiet chapter in his New York life. Yet the essence of this home remains: the rhythm of calm, the precision of taste, the quiet triumph of someone who grew up under a global spotlight but learned that true magic lies in simplicity. Here, at 1 Morton Square, Daniel Radcliffe didn't just own a property. He crafted balance. A home suspended between the hum of Manhattan and the hush of a private life, where the boy who once lived in castles found peace in clean lines, sunlight, and the endless view of the Hudson. Townhouse at 12th Street, West Village, New York. If Daniel Radcliffe's first New York home, the sleek glass corner at 1 Morton Square, was a statement of modern independence, then his townhouse at 12th Street, West Village, whispers of nostalgia. Bought in 2009 for $5.65 million, this residence marks a turning point, a quiet step away from the spotlight and into something more timeless. Where the first home was about solitude and space, this one is about roots, a place that feels lived in, layered, and deeply personal. Originally built in 1890 in the Romanesque Revival style, the townhouse sits tucked along a tree-lined block in the heart of Greenwich Village, where history lingers in every brick. Behind its unassuming facade lies a 2,250-square-foot loft-like residence, gracefully spanning 3 bedrooms and 2.5 baths. Sunlight spills through 10 grand windows, washing the interiors in golden warmth and revealing views of serene private gardens. It's the kind of home that feels quietly cinematic, one where mornings unfold with the rustle of leaves and the sound of the city at a distance. Step inside, and you're greeted by a living room bathed in natural light. Its centerpiece, a wood-burning fireplace surrounded by bookshelves that stretch to the ceiling. The atmosphere feels both British and New York, a cross between Bloomsbury and West Village, where art, literature, and comfort coexist. Upholstered armchairs in floral brocade, antique mirrors, and soft layered rugs invite conversation rather than display. From here, the space opens directly onto a private terrace, Framed by ivy and wrought iron railings, a seamless transition between indoors and out, a luxury rarely found in Manhattan. The kitchen, designed by C.C. Barfield Incorporated, marries classic form with contemporary precision. A Blue Star oven anchors the space, while bespoke cabinetry and an under-counter beverage fridge add quiet sophistication. Pendant lights float like orbs above the island, where 3 wicker bar stools line up. The kind of detail that turns a functional corner into a social heartbeat. Every finish feels intentional, every material tactile. Marble, oak, brushed metal, all whispering calm, not opulence. The primary suite softens the palate entirely. Draped in ivory fabric and filtered daylight, it's a study in restraint. A 4-poster bed dressed in crisp linen sits beneath high ceilings, while a tufted love seat rests at its foot, a gentle nod to Radcliffe's British sensibilities. The ensuite bath gleams in white marble, complete with double vanities and a walk-in shower. In another room, bold wallpaper in red and gray florals brings an unexpected vibrancy, balancing the overall serenity with a hint of artistic whimsy. Elsewhere, a cozy library nook lined with dark wood shelves and olive green accents becomes a retreat within a retreat, a space that seems to hold hours of reading, writing, and quiet guitar chords. It's here that the townhouse reveals its soul, not designed for show, but for living. Every inch of this home, from its refined finishes to its Romanesque bones, reflects Daniel Radcliffe's evolution from global icon to grounded artist. It's sophisticated without shouting, eccentric in just the right places, and bathed in the kind of light that only West Village knows how to give. If his first apartment was where Daniel learned to be alone, then this townhouse was where he learned to belong, surrounded by books, history, and a peace that even magic couldn't conjure. From the calm elegance of his West Village townhouse, Daniel Radcliffe's taste for refinement extends beyond architecture. It continues on the road, where every car he owns reflects the same balance of practicality, privacy, and quiet sophistication. Car collection. Toyota Prius. The first car Radcliffe ever bought was a silver Toyota Prius, a model synonymous with eco-conscious simplicity. With a 1.5-liter hybrid engine, 110 combined horsepower, and a whisper-quiet drive, the Prius was never built to impress. And that's exactly why Daniel loved it. He once joked in an interview that he drove it because it makes no noise, and neither do I. The first time he was spotted with it was in Los Angeles, casually dressed, a takeout bag in one hand, keys in the other. A young man freshly unchained from Harry Potter's shadow. The Prius became his sanctuary on wheels, his moving disguise through Hollywood's chaos. Friends say he often picked up groceries or scripts in it himself, delighting in how no one noticed him. Even today, when a Prius hums past in the quiet of the city, it feels like a metaphor for him. Efficiency, modesty, and purpose over flash. Market value, around $28,000, but its symbolic worth to Daniel is far beyond numbers. It's the car that taught him the luxury of anonymity. Range Rover Sport. As Daniel's life matured, so did his choice in cars. Enter the Range Rover Sport, sleek and shadow black, his modern-day carriage between New York and London. With a 3.0-liter turbocharged inline-six engine, it delivers 395 horsepower and a calm, commanding drive that suits his temperament. It's not the car of a superstar, it's the car of a thinker. When Daniel drives it through Manhattan's cobblestone streets or the winding lanes of Surrey, it's easy to imagine him lost in thought, a podcast playing softly, the world kept at a careful distance. The $90,000 SUV isn't about image, it's about control, about moving through the world on his own terms. BMW X5, power in discretion. Then there's the BMW X5, his quiet powerhouse, a machine of precision and balance. Under the hood, a 3.0-liter turbocharged inline-six PERS with 335 horsepower, offering the smooth strength of a car that doesn't need to boast. Priced around $75,000, it's Daniel's practical luxury, the perfect mix of comfort and agility. The X5 made its public debut during his theater days in London, when Daniel was seen arriving for rehearsals, often coffee in one hand, script in the other. The sound of the door closing, the flash of the BMW's red taillights, it became part of his rhythm, a quiet prelude to performance. Daniel Radcliffe's car collection isn't about horsepower or horsepower envy. It's about personality. Modest, intelligent, timeless. The Prius taught him humility, the Range Rover, stability, the BMW, momentum. Together they form not a fleet, but a philosophy, a reminder that true luxury lies not in being seen, but in choosing when to be. However, the homes and cars didn't appear by chance. They're the result of years of relentless work, discipline, and quiet dedication that turned effort into enduring success. Income and net worth. At this stage in his life, Daniel Radcliffe doesn't chase magic, he builds legacy. The British actor, producer, and stage performer commands an estimated net worth of $110 million, with an annual income between $10 to $20 million. A fortune built not on fame alone, but on endurance, discipline, and smart evolution. His foundation, of course, is film. The decade-long journey through the Harry Potter saga that defined a generation and transformed him into one of the highest-paid actors of his era. Across 8 films, Radcliffe earned more than $100 million in combined salaries, royalties, and profit shares. From his first $1 million paycheck in 2001 to the staggering $33 million for the final chapter in 2011, he turned childhood stardom into financial freedom before he was even 25. But Radcliffe never stopped there. He reinvented himself with precision, choosing artistry over excess. Independent films like The Woman in Black, Swiss Army Man, and Weird, the Al Yankovic story, earned him $5 to $10 million per project, while his stage work on Equus, The Cripple of Inishmaan, and Merrily We Roll Along brought critical acclaim and $2 to $5 million annually. Television followed with Miracle Workers, 2019 to 2023. Where his dual role as actor and executive producer added another $1 to $2 million per season. Behind the spotlight, Radcliffe is a strategist. Through his private company, Gilmore Jacobs Limited, he manages investments exceeding £96.3 million, $125 million in real estate, stocks, and cash holdings, doubling his assets between 2022 and 2024. His properties in London and New York, worth over $15 million, generate steady rental income, including $20,000 a month from his Mercer Street apartment. The sale of his West Village home in 2022 added another $400,000 profit, small compared to his net worth, but proof of how carefully he builds value. Acting remains his creative engine, but finance is his discipline. Every film, every production, every property forms part of a larger ecosystem of stability. While others burn out under fame, Radcliffe thrives under structure, earning $5 to $10 million yearly from new projects, another $5 million in royalties, and $2 to $5 million from investments and real estate. One analyst once said, "Radcliffe mastered something most child stars never do: time." And that's his true wealth. Not just $110 million in the bank, but the freedom to live, create, and give on his own terms. When the curtain falls, Daniel Radcliffe's success doesn't fade. It matures. Because real magic for him was never in the wand. It was in the work. And with all the success Daniel Radcliffe has achieved, he's never kept it for himself. Instead, he's quietly turned his fortune into a force for good, using his earnings to uplift lives and give hope where it's needed most. Philanthropy. For Daniel Radcliffe, fame only matters if it makes a difference. In 2009, after learning about rising suicide rates among LGBTQ+ youth, he began supporting the Trevor Project, donating an initial $500,000 to help expand their 24/7 crisis hotline. Over 15 years, his total contributions have surpassed $10 million, funding training programs, mental health campaigns, and digital outreach that now serve over 200,000 young people each year. His visibility brought global attention to the cause, and in 2010, he received the Trevor Hero Award for his enduring commitment. In the UK, Daniel channels compassion into action through Demelza Hospice Care for Children, donating £100,000 to £200,000 annually to support children with terminal illnesses. His contributions helped fund new care centers in Kent and East Sussex, expanding services to more than 1,000 families a year. He's also raised funds through charity auctions, including a £100,000 Harry Potter memorabilia event in 2016, to ensure families get emotional and medical support when they need it most. Beyond these, he's a frequent donor to Broadway Cares/Equity Fights AIDS, raising tens of thousands of dollars through live performances during his Broadway runs, and to The Mix, a youth mental health organization in the UK. Through his company, Gilmore Jacobs Limited, which manages assets over £96 million, Radcliffe allocates around $1 to $2 million per year to philanthropy, roughly 10 to 15% of his income. He's not one to publicize his giving, once telling The Guardian, "I don't want credit for it. I just want to do the right thing." For Daniel Radcliffe, generosity isn't spectacle, it's structure, measured, enduring, and profoundly human. When the responsibilities and commitments are done, Daniel Radcliffe retreats from the noise, back to a life of calm routines, familiar faces, and the quiet joy of simply being himself. Personal life. Away from cameras and curtain calls, Daniel Radcliffe's life today is strikingly ordinary. And that's exactly how he wants it. He lives between London and New York, spending much of his time in his Manhattan townhouse with Aaron Dark, his longtime partner and fellow actor. In 2023, the couple welcomed their first child, a son, and friends say fatherhood has softened Daniel in the best possible way. More laughter, more quiet mornings, and a new sense of balance that fame once made impossible. These days, his routine is simple. He writes, reads scripts, and takes long walks with his family through Hudson River Park or the quiet streets of Greenwich Village. When in London, he keeps close to a small circle of old friends, preferring cozy pubs and dinners at home over red carpet nights. Acting remains his passion, but he now chooses projects for joy rather than status, often alternating between intense film roles and smaller stage productions that challenge him artistically. Outside work, Radcliffe is deeply into writing and producing, developing stories with dark humor and emotional depth. He's also found calm in music and exercise, often seen jogging or cycling through the city without bodyguards or fanfare. His friends describe him as grounded, generous, and disarmingly self-aware. A man who's learned how to exist in the world quietly, without needing to perform. At 35, Daniel Radcliffe's life isn't about escaping his past. It's about living fully in the present, surrounded by love, simplicity, and the quiet satisfaction of having finally found peace. In the end, Daniel Radcliffe stands as proof that growing up in the spotlight doesn't mean losing yourself. It means learning who you truly are. He turned fame into focus, wealth into purpose, and silence into strength. His story reminds us that greatness isn't found in magic, but in mastering the art of being real. Thank you for joining us on this journey. And until next time, keep believing in the quiet kind of magic.